Welcome to the Big Scramble, how professional services firms can attract the next wave of high-value clients. I'm Ivan Lares. We're here to talk about marketing for professional services. Stick around for our three-part video series on the Big Scramble. Look, we're going to be talking about three things. One, what is the Big Scramble and why is it such a big opportunity for you to leapfrog your firm's growth? Two, I want to talk about the retirement and the rise of new decision makers and how that's impacting the ability of your firm to get new, repeat, and referral work. And number three is going to be the highlight of this series. I want to show you a three-part strategy to raise visibility, attract a new wave of decision makers, and close them as clients for your firm. Let's waste no time and let's get started. So what is the Big Scramble? The Big Scramble is three massive connected events that together are shaking up the professional services industry. One, we got the retirement of baby boomers from decision-making positions. Two, we have the rise of Gen Xers in decision-making positions. And three, we have the changes in business practices that the technology and information age have brought forth. It's these three events combined that are changing how firms are being engaged and searched for new, repeat, and referral work. Okay, so a lot of people, they don't know what the Big Scramble is per se, but they definitely have been feeling the symptoms, okay? If you felt a drop in repeat work, if you felt a drop in referral work, if getting new clients and generating demand is hard or getting way different than it once used to for your firm, then you're feeling the symptoms of the Big Scramble. Okay, to drive this point home, let me share some data with you. According to U.S. Census data, by the year 2020, okay, over half of the baby boomers in decision-making positions will be retired. And by the year 2025, all of them, okay, I'll say the bulk of them, will be retired. Now, that is a lot of decision makers, and that can be a scary thing. Okay, now what I want to do, because a lot of people, when they first start to really understand what's going on and they see how big this event is and how it's really going to shape their professionals, their ability to get new and repeat work for their firm, they kind of start to panic because it can be really, really scary. Your clients are retiring. But what I want to do with this video and what I want to do with this series, actually switch the perspective and look at this through the lens of opportunity. Because if you can understand what the Big Scramble is, and you know that a new wave of decision makers is taking the reins of that decision-making process, then all you have to do is adapt your strategy, your marketing strategy, your business development strategy, your lead and demand generation strategy, so it resonates, okay, and it can attract the new decision makers. Then you're going to be in a position to win. Okay, you're going to be in a position to navigate the Big Scramble and be very successful throughout. And that is the highlight of the series. If we can start to look at the Big Scramble as an opportunity to attract the next wave of decision makers, that next wave of high-value work for the next 10, 15 to 20 years, then you're going to be in a position to win. And that's what the Big Scramble is really all about. Let's check out our next video where we're going to be talking about the retirement and the rise of these new decision makers and how that's going to impact your firm's ability to get new, repeat, and referral work. Your clients are retiring and a new wave of decision makers is coming in. So how does that impact your firm's ability to get new, repeat, and referral work? Clearly, the new wave of decision makers is quite different from their predecessors, and they're bringing new business practices along. So in this video, I want to talk about three main differences between the previous and the next wave of decision makers. Let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is how do Gen X decision makers get their information? How do they search and how do they evaluate firms and their services providers, okay? To do this, I want to get into how a baby boomer would traditionally go about buying a car to how a Gen Xer might buy a car now. Now, I know that buying a car is a product and is not buying a service. It is totally different, okay? But the steps and considerations that lead up to that face-to-face meeting are exactly the same. So let's say a baby boomer wants to buy a car. He's probably going to head down, or traditionally he would head down to the dealership and engage with a business development rep. He would tell that sales rep, look, I'm interested in this type of car. This is my budget. This is what I like. This is the people who are going to be using the car. This is the size of my family. And then the sales rep is going to reply with the option that he has available and all the information about those options. He might take some cars for a test drive, and then he might do the same thing with a different dealership. In short, what's happening here is that the bulk of the information is being received directly from the business development rep. Now, it was a different time and the information wasn't available as it is now. But for the new wave of decision makers, that process is totally different. So why don't you think about how you might buy a car nowadays? Okay, you're probably going online, most definitely. You're probably going to look at some articles, you're going to download a brochure, you're going to compare features, look at reviews. Heck, you could even look at models and models and change colors, see the pricing right away. Okay, and then you could even research your dealership right there online as well. You could see their location, their unique deals, reviews on that dealership, okay, and their positioning. So what the main difference here is that the new wave of decision makers would rather gather their information on their own terms long before they engage on a sales or a business development call, okay? So what I'm saying is that the processes, the steps and considerations that lead up to a business development call has drastically changed, okay? And the way that new decision makers are doing that is on their own terms and through online. So that's totally impacting how your firm is being searched for, how your firm is being evaluated before it's even being engaged for any type of business development activities. Now, number two is how the new wave of decision makers value expertise over experience. Okay, now this is a huge difference, and to start this out, let me tell you this story and see what you think about this. So let's say that your firm, okay, is in need of implementing an IT cloud system. Okay, so you hire some consultants and you bring in consultant number one and consultant number two. So consultant number one is telling you about all of the companies he's worked for. He's sharing an extensive list of all the companies he's helped implement IT systems. He's also telling you the scope of the work for each engagement and the pricing options for each engagement. Now, what he's really doing is sharing with you, positioning his portfolio and therefore his experience, okay? Now, consultant number two comes in and he starts to talk to you about the changing landscape of the IT systems and the rise of cloud computing. He's also sharing with you how he's implemented cloud computing system for firms with similar profiles, and he's sharing with you some high-level best practices on how to avoid common industry mistakes. Now, I want to ask you this: which consultant is more interesting to you? Okay, look, if you're like me, consultant number two is far more interesting. And the reason is that he's positioning his expertise. He's demonstrating that he understands the changing landscape. He's helping me understand, okay, what I need to do and how to avoid the common mistakes. He can leave his experience for later because that's going to be enough for me to hire him, or at least to take him to the next business development call. Okay, so what I'm saying is that the new wave of decision makers values more expertise, okay, what your firm knows how to do, how your firm goes about solving common industry problems, how your firm looks at the innovative landscape before they're evaluating your experience, okay? Your experience has a place. Your portfolio, your case studies, your testimonials, that has a place, and it's typically at the end of the buyer's journey, okay? Number three that I want to talk about here, and probably the most important thing, is that the new wave of decision makers does not necessarily go to a firm because it's the local firm, okay? They don't engage with a firm just because it's the local firm, okay? They gravitate to the firms that they perceive as the best, okay? The reason being is that the new wave of decision makers understand that business is now global. They understand that they can hire a firm from across the country, and that firm can deliver the services no problem. The communication technology is there, all of the technology is there to help that firm deliver its services just as a local firm would. So what this means is that you're no longer guaranteed repeat, referral, or new work just because you're the local in town. Okay, people, decision makers, the new wave decision makers are now gravitating to the best firms. So it's so important to have a strategy, one, to position your expertise, position yourself as a thought leader, and two, that can reach decision makers where they are, where they can research you, when they can engage and gravitate around your perspectives on their own terms, okay? These are the three main differences between the new wave of decision makers, and that's impacting the way your firm is being searched, evaluated for repeat and referral work. Okay, in the next video, we're going to talk about a three-part strategy to raise visibility and how to attract the new wave of decision makers. How can professional services firms begin to attract the next wave of high-value clients? We've talked about the big scramble and what the big scramble is, and we've also talked about how the big scramble is impacting your firm's ability to get new, repeat, and referral work. Now, I want to share with you a three-part strategy that your firm can implement to begin to attract the next wave of decision makers. So number one, you're going to have to create a library of content assets. You're going to need to create articles, videos, and publications. I understand that creating content assets is hard, and that's probably some of the reasons that brought you to this series. So I want to share with you two power moves that have been particularly helpful for us to develop, last year alone, 500 pieces of content assets, including articles, videos, and publications. So the two power moves when developing content assets are the following. Number one, you're going to need structure, okay? You're going to want to implement a technique called topic mapping. And what this means is that you're going to want to map out the topics that you're going to be developing into assets way before you even write the first line of content. So you typically map out anywhere from 6 to 10 topics. Okay, make sure that they align with the interests of your ideal clients, and that's going to give you the understanding of how many articles, how many publications, and how many videos your firm is going to need to create in its next marketing cycle. So power move number one when creating content assets is to create structure. Power move number two, and a very powerful one, is knowledge extraction, okay? Knowledge extraction is the process where you interview one of your subject matter experts to get the substance for the content you're going to be developing. So the chokehold typically with content strategies is that it's hard for people to write the content. So a typical example would be that a marketing strategist or maybe leadership would define a healthy content strategy to develop so many articles, publications, and videos in the next marketing cycle. But when it comes time to develop the content, people choke up. They start saying things like, look, I haven't had the time, I don't have the time, it's too complicated. And when that begins to happen, typically the effort just kind of slowly burns out and the content never gets developed, okay? So to avoid that, you're gonna wanna use knowledge extraction. What you're going to want to do is sit down, once you've mapped out your topics, you're going to want to sit down with your subject matter experts, and you're going to want to have a natural conversation with them around the topic. You're going to want to record that meeting and then use the recording to basically transcribe that meeting and that substance into an article, into a publication, and into some video scripts, okay? Knowledge extraction is one of the most powerful moves that has helped us help our clients develop articles, videos, and publications. So that is element number one of this three-part strategy. You're gonna wanna create an abundant amount of content assets, articles, videos, and publications, okay? Element number two. You're gonna need to build a modern and scalable marketing infrastructure. Okay, you're gonna want to house this content on your own website, on your business blog, on your landing pages. You want to house your PDFs so people can download them right through your website and actually be able to send out email newsletters, okay, to promote this content. Now, this is a scalable infrastructure. You're going to want to build this. Okay. Now, the power moves here, and typically where people get it wrong is that they will subscribe to many services and try to piece it all in together. Okay. So they'll get analytics over here, emails over here. They will get their website over here, their blogging platform over here. And the power move I want to share with you when building a modern and scalable marketing infrastructure is that of the Marketing Hub. Okay, so the Marketing Hub is a software tool, a modern software tool that can actually manage all of these practices under one roof. I'm sure some of you have come into contact with some of these market leaders, marketing hubs, some of them being Marketo and HubSpot. Okay, but you should definitely check them out because they're going to allow you to actually build an infrastructure where you can house the content yourself and then publish it to reach thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of prospective clients, okay? This is a very different approach from the traditional PR approach, where firms would rent out their content, okay? With public relationship firms would traditionally rent out their content and push ads out to the masses, okay? With this power play, or with this element number 2 of this strategy, okay, of building a modern and scalable marketing infrastructure, what your firm is going to do is going to house its own library of content. And that way you'll be able to serve the next wave of decision makers with timely content when they want it and when they need it, and most importantly, on their own terms, okay? Element number 3 is to deploy a visibility and lead generation strategy, okay? By creating content assets and by housing them, okay, on your own platform, you're essentially creating a very powerful and sustainable visibility and lead generation strategy. Now, this strategy is going to do 3 things for you. 1, it's going to bring unrivaled exposure. 2, it's going to market your expertise on a broader scope than, let's say, a keynote or a business development meeting. And 3, it works 365 days a year. It does not get tired, okay? So you're gonna get unrivaled exposure because you're through a channel like the internet. This is a global channel that's gonna allow you to deploy content through channels like LinkedIn and Google Search to reach thousands of prospective clients. Remember that the new wave of decision makers is actively searching for answers, and they're doing this mostly through channels like Google Search. Now, you're going to provide the answers through your content, and they're going to bounce back to your firm and start to gravitate around your perspectives. In this sense, you're going to see an exposure that your firm has never before seen. Okay, now element number 2 of this visibility strategy is that's going to market your expertise on a broader scope. What we mean by that is that a prospective client will be able to engage with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever amount of articles they want to, because they're researching on their own terms. If they find that your perspectives are striking and interesting, they will be able to really engage with your firm's perspectives throughout time. And that's going to position your expertise. It's going to position you as the top of mind and go-to firm when they're ready to engage in a business development meeting. Okay. Now, element number 3 of this strategy is that it works 365 days a year. It doesn't stop. It doesn't get sick. Okay, so you'll be able to serve content to thousands of prospective clients at a time, okay? Each one could be engaging with different articles at any time in any part of the world, okay? They're going to be searching you, they're going to be finding you, and they're going to be doing it, most importantly, on their own terms, okay? This is the 3-part strategy that is going to help you position yourself, okay, to win the next wave of high-value clients throughout the big scramble. Remember, the big scramble is a tremendous opportunity, and you're in the prime time to get started with it now. I want to invite you to check out our Marketing Professional Services course. Okay, it is a 66 video lesson course. It has 32 chapters and 8 modules. Each module is a step-by-step framework covering processes like developing content assets, like building the modern marketing infrastructure, and raising visibility and generating leads, okay? This is a powerful, proven course that we've learned from dealing and working with many professional services firms throughout the years, and now I'm sharing this strategy with you. So if you've made it here, go check out our Marketing Professional Services course, and thank you for watching our video series, The Big Scramble, How Professional Services Firms Can Win the Next Wave of High-Value Clients.
Got it.